All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. A little different style or format for today's episode, and probably all our episodes going forward until we're back in like a full season of college football. Um, we're kind of just gonna basically break it up into segments. So today we were talking about the NIL and the transfer portal. We're talking about the Heisman conversation and the controversy in that, and then we're also going to talk about the playoff bowl games that we have coming up Friday and this weekend. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it. So right off the bat, let me just ask you, um do you feel like GT got robbed?
Yes. I don't even think to me, it's not even close. That's just my opinion. You know, it's like we talked about Offset. If he'd have done this in the SEC, I mean, it would have been unanimous.
Oh yeah.
But it's this was a political campaign. And I hate to say that, but it's like you said, they pretty much, you never heard Genty getting talked about for the Heisman. Very little, as much as compared to Travis Hunter. It's
Yeah.
like you said, every time he caught a ball or made a tackle or did something, he's striking the Heisman pose, dancing around. It is what it is. It's just unfortunate. Genty happened to be in the Heisman at the wrong time.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I felt like it was more
It was a
popularity.
popularity contest at this point because I mean they didn't give the Heisman to the best player in my opinion. You can say what you want. Playing both sides of the ball is not statistics. I don't care that he plays both sides of the ball. Hey, you do that. That's great. Blah, 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 whatever. You aren't even a top receiver or a top corner. Based on the stats, go look at
Yeah.
ESPN. He was not number one. I don't care who's number one. I don't care who they play for. I don't care what team they play for. He wasn't the best. Now, I thought the Heisman Trophy winner was supposed to go to the best player.
Yeah, see, honestly, I think because if you look at some of the guys who had better stats in the categories, there was a receiver from, I think it was San Jose
San
State,
Jose, yeah. Nick
Nick Nash.
Nash.
He had better stats, but again, it's a group of five team, so obviously they're not, like I was telling you before. Group of five teams don't normally get a lot of love with these awards. It's
Yeah.
And I think that's unfair because, I mean, these guys are, they're going out there and putting it all on the field just like anybody else is. So how are they not getting considered when, you know,
Yeah,
I
I agree.
I don't know how well San Jose State did on the season, but I
They
mean,
were 7-5.
it's supposed to go to,
Nick Nash had 104 catches, almost 1,400 yards, and 16 touchdowns. So he had about 300 yards, give or take, aside from Travis Hunter.
yep. So again, I'm not going to take anything away from Travis Hunter because he is an elite talent. I mean, he's great on both sides of the ball, but I mean, for him to get the best,
This
uh,
man won the Bolentikoff and the
he got the best defensive player
yeah.
award and the best wide receiver. And I feel like other people got robbed just because they wanted to give him more ammunition to say, okay, well, he should be our Heisman winner,
Yeah.
which again, and this is our personal opinion. I'm not trying to sound like I'm hating on this man or I'm attacking him in any way because I'm giving him his flowers. We haven't seen anybody play full time on both sides of the ball and do it at the level that he did it at. But those aren't stats. The stats are what counts at the end of the day. The best player carried his team to a first round bye as a group of five team. So I
Yeah.
think that deserves some consideration too. If we're going to bring up, well, he's a full time player on both sides, but this guy's a group of five team. He plays for a group of five team, and they made it all the way to the
Yeah.
playoffs
I mean, if
and got a
Travis
first round
Hunter
bye.
was that good, why didn't they win the big games? That's my argument.
Exactly.
I get it. He does play wide receiver. Well, you got get him the ball.
Exactly.
Feed him. Throw it to him. Boise does it. What difference does it make? I get he plays wide receiver, but honestly, it's just get him the ball. If he's that dominant, he'd be getting the ball every play, just like Ashton Genty. So that just
Yeah.
goes to tell me he's not the best player on their team.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
take that with a grain of salt.
that's the argument though. Like, look at some of the past Heisman winners. I mean, they pretty much were the focal point of their teams and helped their teams, reach, some good uh points in their seasons. Like Devontae Smith is a perfect example because
Yeah,
he was the playmaker and you get the ball to your playmaker. My man's had however many catches for almost 2,000 yards receiving. And keep in mind, this is two less games than a regular season against all
all in
SEC
all
competition.
SEC opponents. Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So they tried to compare him all the way back to the 90s with Charles Woodson. And Charles Woodson was barely a full time player on the offensive side of the ball. And he did some kick return, punt return duties. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
yeah, and it's like you said. I'm not hating on him. I'm not, and that might be what it sound. That might be what it sounds like that we're doing, but it's not. It's. I didn't really do a whole lot of research. Um, Probably should have before I say what I'm fixing to say. I just want to know, like, could he do this? Could he have locked down true receivers? I'm not saying they didn't even play the top Big 12 teams. That's my thing. They lost to Nebraska, they lost to Kansas, and they lost
Yeah.
to Kansas State.
Yeah.
So those were the three best teams that they played, and they were all trash at the end of the season. I don't even know if any of them. I know Nebraska was okay. I think Kansas State was. I think they might have finished. They're not even ranked. I don't even think Nebraska's ranked. So they didn't even beat a ranked team. I don't think. Did they beat a ranked team? I don't really know if they did or not.
I, I couldn't even tell you.
You had to pad your stats, which, Genty did it too at the end of the year. He didn't really have to. And Genty didn't even play 4 quarters in a lot of these games. I think they said he missed, like, they benched him in the second half a couple times.
Yeah. The only thing I think is they should, like I said, just give the group of five guys more consideration. I mean, you,
At that point, why'd you even bring him?
yeah, because you can't even, like, what is the purpose of you can't choose what conference you belong to. You're basically telling these group of five guys
You
you
have
either
to
want to
transfer. He should have
yeah
transferred. Is what they should. Is pretty much what they told Genty. Pretty much what I've seen from the Heisman is don't play at Boise if you want. If you actually, I mean, he's going to get drafted. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, of
He's going
course.
to get drafted, but it's like you said. If he would have been playing in the Big 12, Pac 12, Big 10, SEC, ACC, whatever, he would have won the Heisman hands down. It wouldn't have even have been close. But
Yeah.
there's a reason why this guy, Travis Hunter, is the highest paid NIL. He's pretty
Yeah.
much the face of college football. If it's what it say, however you want, but he is. It's just a popularity contest, and you hate to see that. They got to do better. He got robbed. Everybody knows he got robbed. It
I
is
mean,
what it is.
like I said, you just have to consider those guys more.
I
It's
just
either
want to.
that.
I just like, for instance, I just want to see. You just don't want to see Travis Hunter fail because the like he. I don't know who he's covered, but let me tell you one thing: the Big 12 don't play defense, so for him to be the
That is
best in the
true.
Big 12, what's that really saying? I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking him. But the Big 12 don't play defense, and you still couldn't win games. And you're the best defensive player? Uh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can
Uh,
argue Boise doesn't play anybody, but if you go look at the Colorado schedule, it's pretty much the same. To be honest, yeah, they might have played a little stiffer competition in Colorado because it's the Big 12.
yeah, That's the biggest thing. But again, like I said,
But
you
if you go look, it's not that much of a difference. To be 100% honest, I'm talking like wins and losses kind of thing here.
I mean, yeah, but it's not fair to them that they can't. Boise State would basically have to move into an entirely different conference. Just
So that pretty much just showed Boise right there. They need to get out of the Mountain West. I mean, they made the playoffs, which
what?
is fine.
Nah,
But
they
say,
got to
say
break
for
up.
instance, Boise would have lost. I think they might not have made the playoffs.
No, they wouldn't have. They would have kicked them out. But okay,
So
look. They have to break up. They're gonna have to break up these Group of Five conferences at some point because that Heisman ceremony showed that, and past ceremonies too, where Group of Five guys got there but didn't win it. It just shows that if you're in a Group of Five conference, you just don't have as much say so. Like
the resume's not there. I mean, your stats are there. It's just, well, man, you did this, but man, you played against teams that people ain't never heard of.
exactly. Which I mean, again, that's not. I mean,
But
in
what?
Gene
Yeah, but
T's,
like you said, how's that his fault?
yeah, it's not his fault that he can't choose who he's playing. Like you could see that he's capable of
I mean, he ran for
doing that
200 yards on the number one team in the nation, and
exactly.
he
So
doesn't play defense. Oregon kicked a game-winning field goal to beat them.
yeah, so it's fair to say that if he could do that to Oregon, he could do that to anybody in the country.
I'm telling you right now, if he goes, he's about to go crazy in this playoff. If they make a run to the national championship and somehow win it, it'll be the biggest Heisman bust of all time.
Yeah, they'll definitely question it if if he makes that run and
He
he
goes
can
crazy.
somehow, yeah, if he wills Boise State to a championship, then
Yeah, that's my argument. That's my only argument is he put Boise. If you take Ashton Genty off of Boise, they may win 5 games. You take Travis Hunter off of Colorado, they might lose one or two more games. They're probably not that much far off from where they are.
yeah. So
I mean, that would just
uh,
mean that Shador had to throw the ball to somebody else.
yeah, but I think that's my rant on that part of it. I think they should just, like I said, either break up the Group of Five conferences and just put them in the bigger conferences and let them grow as programs, or just give them more consideration when it comes to awards, because you can't consistently pick guys from power conferences just because they're power conferences. This is about the players. This is not about the conferences. This is about the individual, like best wide receiver, best corner, best defensive
I
player,
mean,
all of that.
Trey Harris from Ole Miss missed almost the whole year and still had more yards. I'm pretty sure had more yards than Travis Hunter.
I'm just gonna give him the exception because they had a easy first 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, still. Well, anyway, that's our rant on that. Let's touch on some transfer portal news. Obviously, you had the whole thing with Marshall.
Their whole
Their
team
whole
left.
team opted out. Their coach left because they wouldn't pay him, so their whole team decided to hit the transfer portal. A lot of them are trying to transfer to Southern Miss. Um, respect it. That's your coaches. You've seen that happen when Nick Saban retired. A lot of Alabama players hit the portal. You want to play for the guy that recruited you.
Yeah, I mean, you really
So
saw it when Dion went to Colorado. His whole Jackson State team basically left and came to Colorado. Just about.
yeah, I mean, but it shows that you know maybe it is all hype because the only two players that are probably going to get drafted from Colorado are going to be Shador and Travis Hunter. Nobody else will probably even get drafted.
Yeah,
So take that with what you will. But he said that he's not going anywhere. I'm curious to see if that's true. Um, we'll see. At the end of the day, money talks. So we'll see. But transfer portal news. so far, there's going to be a lot of moves every day. Um, the biggest one I've seen so far is Auburn got them a quarterback with Jackson Arnold. I think that'll be a pretty good fit for them. He
Yeah.
showed flashes that he could be really good. Obviously, he's got some wheels. So I don't know what that looks like from a long term standpoint because Jackson Arnold's kind of young. He's only a sophomore, so he's got 2 more years.
Yeah. And you got Deuce
And you
Knight coming
just
in.
and you just got Deuce Knight, which I think he comes in the fall. So does Deuce Knight transfer? I don't know because if Jackson Arnold comes in, obviously he's going to get the starting job. They wouldn't have got him otherwise.
So
So
off topic really quick. Off topic really quick. Deuce Knight asked he asked Cam Newton could he wear his number 2, and
yeah, I was going to bring that
Cam
up.
Newton Cam Newton kind of spazzed
Went
out a little
crazy
bit
on
about
him.
it.
Yeah, I get it. You did a lot of things for Auburn. Brought him a championship. Won the Heisman. Probably had one of the best college football seasons in a long time. Definitely one of the best quarterbacks Auburn's ever had, for sure. But for
Yeah.
you to say that, for him to say what he said, I'm not going to repeat what he said. We try to keep this uh, family friendly. For him to say what he said was kind of crazy because, man, your number is not. I wouldn't have even asked. Why are you asking? I get it. It's respect. If you look up to him, but if I was a quarterback and I looked up to somebody like that, he would have lost all my respect. I get what Cam's trying to say, but man, it's not like you came in and was a 4-year dominant player at Auburn. You had one good year and won the Heisman and then went pro and had a mediocre career at best. You fell off after you made a business decision to not jump on the ball in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and
So,
see my thing is because the way he did it, he did it in the public eye. Like that's not if he came to you and asked you personally, don't blast him in front of everybody on your
that's
social
insane. Yeah, that's
media
crazy.
outlet. Like that's not why would you do that? That's just not a good look personally. I mean, I get it. Cam Newton, like you said, he did his thing at Auburn, won a championship, got a Heisman, and rode off into the sunset. Got drafted number 1 overall. But I mean, for you to, like I said, if you were gonna do it, just do it in private, not in the public eye like that. That's just not cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that some things are meant to be behind closed doors. You could have been like, look, man, I get you want to rock my number, but to me it means something, and I want you to prove to me that you can, you know, go out there and ball out. If you do that, man, you got my blessing. You can have it.
Yeah, that's it. What
But for you to go on TikTok or his podcast and say that, man, that's crazy, man. He's a kid.
his
He's a
yeah,
kid.
like his exact words were, "I don't want him to tarnish my numbers legacy at Auburn." Like that
What is there to
that just
tarnish? You pretty much tarnished your career acting like an idiot.
that to me just that right there
I mean, this
just
is the same man that's sitting on the couch still saying that 32 quarterbacks aren't better than him. So, but who are we to talk? I don't know. But like you said, that's you can't say that.
nah.
But yeah, Auburn got him a new quarterback, Jackson Arnold. I think it's kind of funny that they got the quarterback that beat Alabama. I think that's kind of funny. I don't know if that's was the deciding factor in anything, but Hugh Freeze has got to buckle
They
down. Hugh Freeze, this is make or break for Auburn right here, especially for Hugh
oh yeah.
Freeze. This is it. Like if you have another 6-win season, you're gone, buddy. I hate to tell you, it's over with in the Plains if you lose, because yeah, Auburn is a very good program, prestigious school. Obviously, they want to compete for championships. Not this is the second year in a row that they haven't played in a bowl game.
True.
Right? Did they play in a bowl game last year? Yeah, they did.
Uh
Yeah, they did. They got blown
oh
out
yeah, they
by
did. They did.
can't remember who it was. But yeah, they didn't even make a bowl game this year, so it is what it is. Miller Moss went to Louisville. That's good for him. That's good for him. I think he needed that.
Yeah. He just didn't live up to his expectations at USC. So
But it doesn't always pan out where you go. That's the bright thing. That's the nice thing about the transfer portal is, it didn't work out for you in USC.
yeah,
You're not just because you were good in high school does not mean that's going to transfer to the college. You got to think, yes, you were the best athlete in, let's say you were the number one recruit in the nation. Well, the teams you're playing have 7 of those. You
yeah.
know what
I
I
mean the
mean?
big
When you go to play these schools, so say you were the number one pick. All right, you're the number one pick, Bryce Underwood, and now you're going to Michigan. Okay, well you got to go play Ohio State. Well, I was the best. I was the best quarterback in school. You got to realize, okay, well this team across from me has $20 million tied up into their team with 5 stars and number one players in the nation. You're not that special.
exactly.
Every now and then, yes, there is a just diamond in the rough, like a quarterback or whatever position. Travis Hunter's a prime example of people that you don't see every now and then. It's every now
Yeah,
and then that
exactly.
you see somebody of that caliber. But, now you're starting to see people play both ways.
That
Somebody
is
just
true.
got somebody. I don't know who it was. I can't remember who it is. But somebody just signed somebody that's playing both ways. I don't remember who it is. Do you know?
I don't, but I
You know what
know
I'm talking
what
about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I just don't know
yeah.
the
If
team
anybody
or the
knows,
or the
yeah, I
name.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know his name. I don't know what team. But yeah. I mean, let's hit on some transfer portal stuff. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of like Boise State's coach came out and said. I think it was Boise State's coach came out and said that people have been reaching out to his players, wanting to enter the portal, and he says I see it every day, and that's crazy. But it
Honestly,
happens.
I'm not surprised though,
I'm
because if
not
you
sure
think
if it
about
was
it,
Boise's coach, so don't hold me to that. But I don't remember who said it. But
I mean,
yeah,
whoever said it, I'm not like I
they're
said, I'm not
right.
surprised because think about before the portal, you had players getting paid under the table before NIL and then before the portal. So now that the portal and NIL is a thing, we're basically gonna talk to
Figure
your
something
players
else
behind your
out.
back. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Now you got to figure something out because you can't pay them under the table and get them because they're already getting paid. Well, they can transfer now, so now you just got to okay. Well, hey, so and so, we're gonna give you so much money. We need you to go over here to LSU and give Nussmeyer whatever he says, or whoever the
Well,
case
I
may be,
mean,
Milrow, whoever it is. You know, um, hey, so and so, we're gonna send you over here. We need you to give this man the work. Get buy him whatever he wants. Look, man, start here, and this is the max. We're gonna offer him. Start off with a couple million. He says, okay, well, I will, and then just hit him with the big number. And it happens. The prime example,
well,
I don't know if this happened. I don't know. I'm not making acquisitions. I don't know. I don't want to. But Quinshawn Judkins is a prime example. This man led the SEC 2 years in a row, was on a dominant, pretty good Ole Miss team, was really
yeah.
good, one of the best running backs in the SEC, the nation, however you want to put it. And then all of a sudden he enters the portal and goes to Ohio State to split carries with Travion Henderson. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, see, I, I don't know if they ever looked into Ohio State for tampering with anybody else's players because, like you said, why would you leave a one loss team where you're the feature guy to go and split carries at an Ohio State team. Yeah, you mean you get a shot at a national title, which it's fair to say. I mean, had you stayed at Ole Miss, y'all probably be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, because their running back got hurt.
So I think that's one thing they definitely should start taking a harder look at is if guys are just randomly hopping into the portal like that, then maybe you should take a hard look at like, okay, well that seems kind of strange because he's a two
Yeah, that
year
doesn't make any sense.
leading
Yeah,
rusher in the
2-time leading
SEC
rusher. Yeah,
on a good football team, and you're the feature guy. Why would you just randomly leave? We need to take a look at this, something like that.
yeah, yeah. Or like I said, they're just going to have to. I don't know how you regulate it. We talked about this 100 times. I don't know. The only thing I can suggest is contracts. Look, man,
See, the contract
we
thing is
told you. Look,
complicated
we
though.
told you. I mean, not really. I mean, it's just like the NFL. Look, man, we're gonna bring you. We're gonna bring you to Alabama for, we'll say 4 years. We know you're probably gonna go pro in 3. So we're gonna sign you to this. We told you we were gonna give you this, but you ain't gonna get this till you fulfill what you've told us because we don't want to give you $13 million. I don't know how it works. I really don't know.
Yeah, but they
But
they have to accrue some portion of that money throughout. They can't just wait until they finish out their 3 years and go pro and then get the money. That wouldn't make any sense.
I
That's why
mean, that's
NIL
one
is a
way to
thing
regulate
now.
it, though. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but
I'm
that's
not
not.
saying that they don't give them anything. I'm saying, all right, say you signed a $10 million deal with, I don't know, LSU. We'll say LSU. Okay, we're gonna give you $4 million. We'll give you $1 million a year, and then once you fulfill your contract, okay, we'll give you the rest. Give them something
Yeah, but that's still not gonna say that
because
players are gonna be loyal to you because they're gonna have the
well,
opportunity to transfer anywhere they want
that's
to.
fine. Then they won't get their money. Then
Yeah,
you
but I
got
mean,
to do
it's
something because I mean, at this point, it's just, you're just chasing money. It's like you play here one year. Okay, you got $500,000 for playing this one year. Okay, well, you're going to get another 500,000, or I could go to LSU and get 2.3 million. So I'm going to go to LSU for 2.3 million. Okay, well, next year I played a little bit better, so I'm going to transfer to so and so for 4 million. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. They got to figure something out. Obviously, some people aren't going to do that.
yeah.
Some people are on their 7th school, so they're transferring like crazy. I think they should put a cap on that. I don't care
On
that you
how many times
transfer
you can
by
transfer?
all means, but yeah, I mean, dog, you can't transfer every year. TJ Finley has transferred like 7 times.
Yeah, I mean, like I
Like,
said, when they
Jesus,
came out
man,
with it,
how many times do you need? If you're not good, you're just not good. I hate to say it like that. If you can play, you can play. If you can't, you can't. It doesn't matter where you go. Um, Obviously, I just think they should cap it. You should get the transfer, I'd say 2, maybe 3 times, depending on the circumstances. Like if your coach leaves, okay, you can transfer. That's fine. You
uh,
wanted to play for Nick Saban, blah blah blah. But there's a lot of things that go into it other than just that. You committed to this team. Maybe they built around you.
well, I mean, that's just
Hats off to Bryce Underwood. I'm not going to wish nothing bad on him. I would never do that. You took the money, and that's fine. There's no other explanation you have to give me. You can tell me whatever. I wouldn't believe it if he told me anything else. Man, you took the $12.5 million. I'm not done. I would have done the
that's
same
just
thing. And I'm a diehard
that's
LSU
just
fan. I love them to the day I die. But
that's just what college football is right now. It's it's
4.5 million up to 15 million at Michigan. You're taking the $15 million. What if you don't make it? Who cares? You got $15 million. You're set for the rest. Your life changed with a snap of a finger.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That's like I said, that's just the nature of college football right now. It's no
They'll
there's no
figure
real way
something
around
out.
it.
They'll figure something out because eventually it's going to become to a point where, like, I mean, it's just going to be, there's going to be teams that I think they should put caps. Each school. I think you have to make somehow you have to make it fair. I guess I know life ain't fair, but you just have to. You just can't give one like. Oh, okay. Oregon is a prime example. They probably have unlimited NIL money. You know, the owner of Nike graduated there and is their biggest NIL sponsor. They can
Yeah.
get anybody they want. North Carolina is another one of those schools. They're not a very good NFL school, or I mean NFL college football team, but you know they got a lot of NIL money. I'm sure. It's just Texas. You know, it's just teams like that it's going to be hard to compete with teams like that.
Yeah, I mean, you got teams who have premier programs. So with
And
premier
now you're starting.
programs,
Now we're starting to see these kids getting greedy. Well, I want this. I want this, and this, and this. I want to play like this. The kid we signed today from Florida. You know, he wanted all kind of stuff. He wanted to play on third downs, 40K a month. It was ridiculous. And I don't know if we gave it to him or not. I assume we did because
LSU,
obviously.
I would assume they did too, because that's what he was asking for from Florida, and
So
Florida didn't do it for him, and he left. So obviously LSU had to have given it to him if he signed or committed to them.
yeah, that's crazy to me that this kid can come up here and pretty much say, "This is NFL. This is what I want." And if you don't like it, okay, I will go somewhere else because I know I'm good enough or think I'm good enough that I can get this somewhere else.
I mean, in a team for a team like
It's
y'all, where the defense wasn't that great, that's one of those kind of things where it's like, okay, well, let's go ahead and do this because we don't really need to miss out on this guy. He really came on late in the season. We think he can be like a feature player in our rotation. Yeah, you can have whatever you want. Whatever your demands are, no problem. We got you.
I'm about to say he's gonna play all four downs and start. So obviously he's gonna play. So, but we won't get too much into that. Let's jump into some of these predictions for the games this weekend. Let's see. Friday, we got. I won't touch. I'm not gonna touch on the bowl games. Where did it go?
So Friday is Indiana, Notre Dame. Uh and I know I bag on
Yeah,
both of them a lot, but I mean I feel like it's rightfully so. I mean, they both play
that's
weak
probably
schedules.
why they're playing on Friday. To be honest,
I'm calling it the battle of the weakest schedules out of the entire playoffs, just about.
that's probably
I
why they're
mean,
playing on Friday. To be honest, they're probably two teams that honestly, it's probably going to go either way. Notre
they
Dame's
just
favored by
don't
8.
they don't stack up with the rest of the games that are being played on Saturday, which we'll get to those in just a second. But I think just off of prediction, I'd probably say Notre Dame. I think, like your favorite word you like to use, they're going to be a little too physical for
Yeah,
Indiana.
that's you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to pick Notre Dame too. I think they're going to play smash mouth football. Uh, Obviously, the first thing they're going to want to do, they're going to want to run the ball. That's what Notre Dame's going to do. Um,
Yep.
like I said, I'm going to lean. That's pretty much my slogan at this point. I think Notre Dame's just going to be too physical for them. I think they're just going to come out, play smash mouth football. Notre Dame does have a pretty good team. Uh, I think they're going to do exactly what Ohio State did to Indiana. They're going to overwhelm them. Maybe not. Indiana might beat the brakes off of them. I don't know. But I'm going to lean Notre Dame just to slide by Indiana. I think it'll probably be a close game. Probably won't be a very
Yeah.
high scoring game. But yeah, I think Notre Dame's just going to be a little bit too much for Indiana. I mean, they might not be, but where is it? Where is the game? It's at Notre Dame too.
It's
So they got home
yeah,
field
it's at
advantage.
Notre Dame. So yep, that's going to be tough. The odds are pretty much stacked against Indiana. I mean, but this is their chance to prove a point, though. Like,
Yeah. Um, I don't know what the temperature is in. Notre Dame, but Indiana doesn't have to travel that far. I will say that.
Yeah.
They don't have to travel across the country like some of these teams. It says it's 20 degrees in Indiana right now. So, Saturday, 11 o'clock, we got SMU Penn State. SMU's got to go to Penn State. That's a tough. I don't think SMU's gonna be able to pull that off. That's gonna be a tough environment to play in.
They said it's supposed to snow.
It's snowing right now, so tough spot. Really tough place
Mm.
to play at Penn State too. SMU's coming off of a heartbreaking loss to Clemson, and I think it's going to be the same thing against Penn State. Might be a shootout, kind of like the Oregon game, because they're probably both going to score.
I like SMU
But
on the upset though, but only because they're just as physical a football team as the rest of the people in the field. I mean, they have an all
yeah,
ACC running back in Rashard Smith.
he's
Kevin
good.
Jennings, he's looked very good as their starting quarterback since they put him into the starting lineup over their other quarterback who hit the portal.
And
Um,
Penn State's known not to win big games, so the only two games they lost were both big games to Ohio State and Oregon. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna roll Penn State just because it's at home.
yeah, that's gonna be a big factor in all these first round games, the home field advantage.
It's a lot to ask from some teams.
Exactly.
Clemson, Texas play at 3 o'clock. Texas is favored by 12. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna roll upset here. I'm gonna roll with the Clemson Tigers.
Oh man, I was not expecting that.
Well, we don't know. I can't trust Quinn Ewers. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna get.
Yeah, Clemson is coming off a ACC championship, and they've been playing really good football down the stretch.
This is
Even though they
Dabo
lost
Swinney we're
to,
talking about. He has won national championships.
yep, he has the
He's been in
experience.
this. He has this experience. He's been in the spotlight, and I don't trust Quinn Ewers.
I think, I think
He's like I
Texas
said.
is.
He's either really good or he's bad. There's no in between.
I think the home field
I
advantage
think.
is going to be a little too much for Clemson.
You think so?
I think so. Which is like I said, I think after this year they're going to
You have to
change.
put him neutral side. Yeah, that's not really
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, they're going to change it after this year. I
At
guarantee it.
that point, you might as well just do it. At this point, you might as well just give Boise and all them home field advantage. At this point, what's the difference between them playing a neutral side? What's the difference?
Yeah, so that's why I don't, I don't really understand that part of it. How
The
do you make the
only one that
quarterfinals?
yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you made the quarterfinals home field advantage, but the rest of the playoffs are neutral. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they made the first round home field advantage, and the quarterfinals and on is all neutral site bowl games, which
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. Why not just add 4 extra bowl games? But I already made that rant. We can keep going with the predictions. I don't want to get too far off topic.
We got Ohio State, Tennessee. This is where I think the difference is going to be with the home field advantage because it's going to be tough to go into Ohio State and win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're not. It gets cold in Tennessee, but it's a different kind of cold in Ohio, and it's in
That is true.
Columbus. So obviously they're going to be ready to play. Tennessee's got a good defense. It's their offense I'd be a little worried about. But
Yep.
from what I've seen them play against Michigan, if Tennessee can just play defense,
Yeah. If they can just do enough on offense to put the points on the board, their defense can keep
the
Ohio State
only
from
thing
scoring a
I
bunch of
would be
points.
worried about from a Tennessee standpoint is if Ohio State stops Dylan Sampson from running it down their throat, Tennessee
Yes.
might get Tennessee may not really stand a chance because they're gonna obviously that's Tennessee's game plan. They're gonna want to run the ball.
Yeah, because I don't believe Nico's gonna be able to like carry them in that
No,
kind of
because
game.
Ohio State's got a good defense.
If Dylan Sampson can't, offer some type of run game in that game, I think it'll be tough for, Nico to carry the offense. I don't think he's capable of doing that right now.
Yeah, we haven't really seen it. Um, Probably gonna roll Ohio State there. Like we said, it's home field advantage, so it's tough to come
Give me
into. You gonna roll Tennessee?
absolutely, of course. I
I'm
mean, their
gonna roll
defense.
Ohio State. It's Nico. I
Ah,
don't know.
nah, man.
I think Ohio State's gonna be just enough. I think it's gonna be a really good game. Gonna
Fact,
be a
Tennessee
really good
can
game.
absolutely, but I think Tennessee is going to walk away with the W because they just have the better. Honestly, I think that that's probably one of the most even matchups because both teams have great defenses, both teams have great offenses. I just think Tennessee will win in the battle.
Yeah, I mean they're obviously gonna try and wear out Ohio State. So Ohio State couldn't even beat Michigan. They were trash.
Exactly.
I'm still gonna roll Ohio State home field in the shoe. Gonna be tough to beat them there.
True.
Tennessee's got to go to Ohio, so I'm sure they're there now. I would imagine that they probably are.
Yeah.
Just to get used to the weather. I personally, if I played, I would be in Ohio right now, just to get used to the weather, the atmosphere, whatever the case may be. But as far as that, that's pretty much all the big games. Do you want to touch
Yeah.
on Alabama? They do play Michigan.
Nah,
Because
ain't no
aside from
point.
that, the bowl games really doesn't matter. We play
The, it,
Baylor.
it's because a lot of Michigan's players are opting out anyway, so it's not even gonna be a big game like that personally. So I'm good. I'm really good on all the bowl games. I mean, we'll probably kind of give y'all recaps of the bowl games just because sometimes you can have some really exciting bowl games.
Yeah,
That
but like you said, with all the opt outs and transfers, and you don't.
yeah,
I like Baylor's quarterback transferred. So
yeah. So they won't even have their starting quarterback in their bowl game. So I mean, it's like it's a bowl game, like you touched on. Bowl games are just becoming more and more irrelevant with the
yeah,
playoffs. I
they
mean, the
don't mean
playoffs are
nothing.
supposed to expand, so it's just going to be worse. And yeah, nah, we don't got to get into it. We can save. So we pretty much have a flex day, which is Wednesdays. So we'll throw something together for y'all that way we can still have our 3 drops a week.
Because next week after these games, then it'll be the big games. Whoever will play Boise, whoever will play Arizona State, Oregon, and then Georgia.
Yeah,
So, but the big question mark is Carson Beck. What's is he going to be ready? Is he not? I don't know. I don't know what happens there, but I think they
yeah,
didn't say anything until it was a pretty much a lock, just in case so they didn't get done dirty.
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I don't know if you got anything.
No, no, that's pretty much all I had. Mm, I think that's pretty much wraps up this little episode here. Like I said, different type of format. We probably gonna try this going forward, just because
I'm about to
you
say
know,
we realistically only have two more. Maybe well, technically it'll be three because we'll recap after the championship game. So realistically, we only got three more college episodes till the end of the season.
yeah,
So we got this week, next week, and then the championship game, which we'll do our predictions on and recap. So maybe 4 weeks, depending.
yeah. I
So
mean, obviously we're working on how we gonna do our formats and stuff going forward with college football coming to an end. But we'll handle that for y'all off offset, so that way, none of our pretty much schedule that we're on right now doesn't really shift or change. It'll all stay the same. So we'll have a bunch of fill in stuff. So we'll try to do some different things for y'all. Always feel free to just, like I said, always just let us know what y'all want to talk about. I mean, we can talk about some topics that y'all want to talk about.
Yeah, got an interesting podcast to talk about tomorrow with the NFL. So
Yeah, looking forward to it. But that's pretty much all we got in this one. So we'll catch y'all in the next episode.